Welcome to the channel all about economic board games. Today I'm going to be giving you a run through of this board game here, Grand Austria Hotel. You can see the designers at the top, brought to you by Mayfair Games, and this one will play 2 to 4. It'll take roughly 90 minutes. I'd probably say more like the 2-hour mark. Now, the run through today is literally just me, as usual, playing as two players. You've got yellow and blue. If you want a shorter insight as to what the game's all about, go and check out my overview from last week. I'm not going to do too much of the rules to start off. I'm just going to dive in, give you a general concept of the game, though, which is we are running hotels in Vienna in Austria, and we're trying to manage our customers that are going to be coming to our cafe at the bottom here. We're going to be hoping to meet their requirements via food and drink. We've got a selection of resources I'll go through, and if they're happy and you manage to satisfy their needs, they can, and you've got the occupancy, you can put them in your hotel as well, and you're going to be scoring VPs for doing so. You've got a little money track here. This is your kitchen where you store your food and drink, and there's various bonuses and what have you, and hopefully you manage to satisfy loads of guests, you get loads of points, and you're the best hotelier in Vienna, and the emperor is very happy with you. I think I called him the governor in the overview video, so yeah, he is the emperor. So to begin with, you've got your hotel in front of you, and you've got all these little doors that you'll be trying to get these tiles on to have them prepped. You pick one guest to begin with, which you would have chosen from here, and each player would have done that, and then you've replenished that, so you've got one to begin with which you've chosen. You've got the starting player tokens, so whoever goes first is going to be position 1, and you can see they're going to roll the dice, which we'll do now, and they're going to be 4th as well, and this player who is going to be player 2 is going to be 2nd and 3rd. So we'll roll the dice. And what you got is, this is the main action board here. You can see 1 to 6, and you're going to be aligning all the matching dice pips to the actual number above it, and that gives you the sort of quantity of that action that's available. And I'll go through what they do in a minute. You'll have 5 cards out here. They will cost, these are your guests, and you can see the cost at the bottom. This will make a bit more sense in a minute. It's kind of the emperor track, and this is the rounds 1 to 7, and you've got a few sort of bonuses you can try and score along the way. Okay, so the first thing we do is we have the choice to buy one of these guest cards, and that's optional. So this player here, they have got this chap here who's pretty interested in strudel, which is the brown one, and he's after free wine. So am I going to go for something that's similar? I don't think I want to spend money as yet. You start on 10, by the way. These are free. Now I have to have the hotel rooms prepped if I satisfy their needs. So I think I might pass on the yellow one and go for this red one, because he's worth 5 victory points. Yeah, he needs probably a harder combination of food and drink, but he's also going to get me 4 money as well. So I'll take him. I have got space on my free cafe tables here. If you didn't have space, unfortunately, you couldn't put one in until you've managed to put them into your hotel room. So I've taken one. That didn't cost me anything, and all these go down. Next one's revealed, and the next thing I can do is I can do one of these actions. So 1 to 6. So what are they? Number 1 is you can take a combination of brown, which is strudel, and white, which is cake. You can never take more cake than strudel. And there's 2 here, so I could take either or 2 strudel in this case. This one, which hasn't actually got any dice on, I could take a red, which is wine, and black is coffee. And I like how this board sort of has nice artwork of, this is where your dishes are, this is where your wine and coffee. This one here, a lot of dice here, fortunately, is where you prep your room. So you could take these tiles here. You could take 4 in this case if you were to go there first and put those out, and then have to go adjacent, which I'll sort of go for in a minute. This one's all about prestige points and money. This one is about hiring your workers and getting reductions in cost, and this one kind of lets you go to any of these 5 at a cost though of 1. If you don't sort of have, in this case there's nothing on 2 and you really needed it, you could use 6 instead. So they are probably going to want to get some resources for these guys, and well, is it the best time though, because there's not really a lot of dice on these, and if they go there they're only going to get 2 strudel, and which is enough to satisfy this chap. I'm just going to do it actually just to show you what each one does. So what we do is we take one dice, and there's 2 there, so we're going to go for, we could go for 1 of each, but I'm actually going to go for 2 strudel because I've already got a cake here which would satisfy Hidney's. So we're going to go 2 strudel. We can put them straight onto the guest, or we can put them in the kitchen. Now if you put them in the kitchen, there's going to be a cost to move them back out, so it's preferable to put them straight on the guest if you can. We take this dice, you put it on this sort of little spot on your token there to show you've used the action. Now you can as well, on your go, there's some additional actions. You've got at the top here, you can pay a coin to put an extra die basically on any of his go. So I could have spent a coin then to make that 3 dice rather than 2, hypothetically. I could also spend a coin to move 3 dishes from my kitchen over to my guest, which I could do now, I guess. Yeah, I'll consider that in a second. We've got place one disc on the politics card, so these 3 up here if you have completed one. So in this case, in this game, whoever's got 20 money at that point can put these tokens on and claim 15 points, second player 10. This one looks like if you make that sort of right angle shape on your board, you're going to get points. And this one's if you got a combination of 4 yellow and 3 blue. And I'm just going to look in the rules actually for that politics card. The rules are pretty handy actually. On the back you got this sort of overview of the symbols, which is a must. Now what was I looking for? So that was all rooms in at least 6 groups of rooms on your hotel board are occupied. All rooms in at least 6 groups. Oh no, that's not the one. Oh, that is the one I'm looking at. Okay, yeah, I didn't notice that number 6 on the side. So basically all rooms in at least 6 groups of the rooms in the hotel board. So a group is, that red on its own is a group, these 2 blue is a group, that 2 red, you can kind of see they've got these sort of silhouettes around them as well. So this 4 is a group, so I need basically 6 groups, and that everyone we've explained. All right, where was I? So additional actions, that was it. We can also use a staff card, so you start with 6 in the game and they're kind of in your hand, but you have to get them out onto to be able to use them, and they can be used. Some of them have symbols saying you can use them once per turn or at the end of the game for victory points, or one time only. And finally you can move 1 guest from a completed order room to a free room. So we're going to actually do a couple of those. We're going to pay 1 coin to move up to 3 dishes. So we're going to move the strudel over to that guest, a cake and a wine. So that's the 3 options. And then we're going to do move 1 guest with completed order. So we've completed his order, and we're going to discard these. So he's had some strudel, cake and wine. He's a happy chap. We get the bonus at the bottom, so we're going to get 4 money, which is strange not having physical money, so sort of laid out on the board there. And he has to go on a red room, so we're going to score these 5 points now. So we're yellow in this case, and we've done the money, so we basically put him in a sort of discard pile next to us, and we flip over a red room because we have got that occupied. So that's now showing it is occupied, and these are unoccupied, and these are ones we need to try and get if we can. So we have done some additional actions. Is there anything else you want to go? Use a staff card. So we haven't actually got an opportunity to bring staff out yet. We would need one of these actions here. I think it was number 5. It was number 5, wasn't it? Let me just double check. Oh no, 5 was buying a staff member. Let me just remind. You can play exactly 1 staff, right? Your cost is reduced by 1. Okay, so yeah, the cost is reduced by 1. I've accidentally given us guests rather than let me shuffle those back in. Right, that's why I was a bit confused, because there was no monetary cost to hiring staff. I was accidentally given us both guest cards rather than staff cards. So now we can actually see what we've got for guests. So on here we are, there's a cost at the top. That makes more sense. So you can hire some of these when you go to number 5, and then you can use their ability as one of the extra actions. So we'll ignore those for a moment and play passes on. So blues are this chap is not very demanding. He only wants a strudel, and the green colour basically means that he can go in any room. He's not worth any victory points, but he does give us a prestige, which we do have to think about. So I'll talk about a little bit about prestige. And so this Emperor track, as you get prestige, you can get it from that sort of little symbol there, and some of the characters give you it. As you go further up, you as you get to round 3, 5 and 7, you're going to be scoring these or potentially losing some stuff. So if you are, let's just hypothetically move this to number 5. When you get to round 3, you're going to score the victory points below, so 4, and you're then going to move back the number at the top here, 3. So 1, 2, 3. And if you are still in the yellow and white area, I made a mistake on the overview. I actually thought if you're in the white area, you don't get the benefit, but it's only if you get to 0 is when you face the negative consequences. So you've moved back 3. You're still in the white and the white and yellow. You let me just check actually if you get anything in the white. I think it's the white zone because it is separated. I think the white zone, nothing actually happens to you, whereas in the let's have a look here. Each player wonders move on this mark 3 spaces. If you want to send to yellow, if you want to send 0, if you want to. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So if you're in the 1 or 2, nothing happens, basically. You don't get a bonus and you don't get the negative. But let's just say you did go all the way back to 0 because you hadn't really focused on prestige. In this case, you're going to lose 3 money or you're going to lose 5 victory points. But if you happen to go back and you're in the yellow still, you're going to gain 3 money. So you can see there's various things that you kind of have to think about as you go from round to round. And in this case, we're dealing with, first thing we can do actually is take a guest card, which we probably want to do. So there's another green one here for free. He is, let's have a look what he's going to do. So back of the rules again is quite handy. So that means take a face-up guest card from the game board and place it in your cafe at no cost unless you have no space. So that could be handy if I really want something from up here and 3 prestige points. You know what, I'm gonna go for that one. Because greens are sort of jokers, you can put them in any room, so I don't have to worry about that. And these then replenish down. So I've taken my card, which is optional. You don't have to take one because obviously you're going to run out of space if you take it each and every time. Then down to my actions. So looking at the board then, those hotel rooms looks, there's this one here, number 3. I could get a lot of hotel rooms out, which I think, I'm going to do that just to show you. Might not be the best thing to do, but we'll have a go. So we take this 1 dice and we put it on here, so to show we've done that. There was 4 with that one, so we get to take 4 tiles, and we're going to go for, you have to go for adjacent ones. You can't just plonk them up here, and you're going to pay the cost of whatever's on the row. So let's go for a couple of red ones, you think. I'm looking at, actually yellows look quite handy. I'm looking at the yellows and there's 3 out there. I could have, if I'd have thought ahead, I could have took a yellow rather than the screen, but we're going to go for 2 yellow and we're going to go for a red. So the red's going to go here, and that's at 0 cost, and at the end of the game you can see you're going to get points for completed ones, and you can see it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm also going to get these 2 yellow ones, which is going to cost me a coin for each, so that's down to 8, and that is potentially a range I can fill now, and I have got these 2 green ones which can go in any one. Now why do I want to complete ranges? Well, you can see at the top, if you complete a blue range, depending on how many's in it, you're going to get more victory points. Red's going to give you money and yellow's going to give me prestige. Now it's all about prestige at the moment. I've got prestige here, prestige there, and potentially from completing those 3 as well, which might sort of take care of having to worry about this for a little while and get some victory points on the as an option as well. So we've taken number 3, yep, that's done. And any additional actions. So I'm not really in a position, I could, see, this is where you want to be efficient in the game. I could pay a coin, or a kroner as it's called in the game, to move 3 goods from the kitchen over there. And, I want to maybe get 1 on here, but the other 2 goods, I've only got the 1 to go on there. So I'm missing a good basically because I can't put it on, so I may as well just wait. And what else can we do? One die, place 1. No, I think that's pretty much all that player can do. Okay, over to yellows then. So are they going to take a card? They've only got the 1 here. They can they maybe have to a blue card. And it's 5 victory points as well for this lady. It's going to cost them a coin now. Let's have a look what she does. So that symbol there, take 3 staff cards from the draw pile, play 1 of them immediately. Actually no, that's not on that one. Take 3 staff cards, and then you basically got a reduction on them, less than the printing return, and you return the other 2. So I get a chance to take free cards. You know what? I've actually got a unique handout which I printed for this, so I'm going to go and find what that lady does. Actually, they're the staff ones. Let me find the customer ones. Actually, I don't think I've got one for the customers, frustratingly. So let's have a guess at that then again. So that's 3-1. Not being silly. I think it's you can play a staff card, paying 3 cronies less. So you can play a staff card, playing 3 cronies left, or take 3 staff cards from the draw pile. Can't quite distinguish the difference between those two. It looks like you take 3 and I can play one of them. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what we'll assume it is. So we're going to take this one and we're going to plonk it there, and we'll come around to that shortly. So that's the optional, and they are going to do an action. So it's a shame that there's not really a lot of wine and coffee on the go here. We're going to have to kind of prep for future rounds. Prestige could be an option. Actually, hiring a staff member could sort of be engine building for the future. So what have we got? We paid a cost here. This one is a continuous by the looks of it, and a free. Oh, you know what? I'm not even sure what that is. Let's have a look. This is the advantage. Right. Okay. So. Each time you take a die showing a free, you can also play a staff card from your hand. That's quite nice. Every time you take a free then, I can get 5 victory points, I'd imagine that is. That seems rather powerful. Let's double check that one. That seems a lot of points just to take a free. Sorry about this, but I want to make sure I get it right. Each time you take a die showing a free, you also receive 5. Wow, that's madness. What else have we got? You know what? I'm not going to spend time going through all them, but you can see there's so many juicy things. You can get resource. We need red in this case. Actually, you know, I'm just going to go for this one because I think that 5 VP sounds mad, especially early on in the game, because you're going to need 3 quite often to get your rooms out. So, but just I'm going to go for this one. So, what have I done? So I'm taking the 5 action now. I'll put that on here, and that gets me a reduction of 1. So that's going to cost me 3 coins. 1, 2, 3, and it looks like that is a once per round. So that's now my staff member. Feels nice to have a bit of staff support on my hotel. And where were we? So we've done the action number 5, and I can actually use my staff card with a once per round effect. I'm assuming that's the case. So we're going to get +1 wine, and I'm going to put it straight on to there. Hopefully I've done that right. I'm assuming you can use that chap straight away and plonk it straight on rather than the kitchen. I don't really want to go trawling through the rules. I'll be here for another 10 minutes. Right, so they have done their actions. Do they want to do anything else, man? Well, I've got nothing to move from the kitchen. I think that's it for them. And over to blues then. So I'm going to demonstrate something for you. And it probably is needed, actually, because they're not really happy with the mounts here and they don't want to do more rooms and it's not masses there. You can pass, basically. And if you pass, you wait for all the other players to do their goes. And if they pass as well, then they'll be after you in that turn. And passing basically means that you take a random die once everyone's had to go. You put it in the bin. You re-roll all the remaining die. And you kind of get a second chance at rolling, really, which could swing either way depending on what you want. So that's what we could pass again and take another dice off and keep going, and obviously you're limiting your probabilities of what you're going to get. I think that's not too bad, actually, because we really wanted strudel, and so we're going to go for this. And there's currently 2 dice there, so that's 2 strudel, and I think it's probably worth, while we're there, doing the additional action to pay a coin to get another dice. So essentially it's 3 dice. So we're going to go for 3 strudel because we need these 3, we need that 4, and we can put these straight on now, which is Pretty nice. So I'm happy with that, and that's the additional action. Okay, well, everyone's done their actions now. So we're into round 2, and we will take all the dice. And by the way, in a 2-player game, there's 10 dice. There's a few more dice in different player games. We swap these, so now this player is 1 and 4, they're player 1, so they're going to be rolling all these dice. Right, let's see if it's a good spread. 2, 3s, 6 and 5. So again, this time you can see the luck of the dice has an impact, but there is some ways to mitigate that, especially with the number 6. I'm just trying to think if there was anything else I needed to do to sort of clear up the round. Let me just quickly check. I don't want to miss anything. So end of the round. You don't do the Emperor Screw until 3, 5, 7. You can turn, so you can turn your staff cards face up again. So I guess you kind of put it sideways once you've used it. So we turn them back. We've done the turn order. Next player in clockwise order, and that's it. So yeah, next round. Okay, so over to blues this time. And are they going to take a card? So I think they were going to focus on the yellows because we were quite interested in completing that section. And I quite like the look of this one. That's going to get us some strudel, which is quite nice. Going to cost us nothing. So we're going to take that one, and he's going to pass down. Now, what they're doing for actual actions then? So that's quite perfect actually. Look, we've got a strudel, a cake, and a wine. So that's an additional action which kind of needs to happen. But have we got yes, we could do that. Okay. We're going to do our additional actions first. Is there anything we major? So we don't actually need any goods at the moment. Hotel rooms, okay. We might just go for the prestige points. We'll have a look at their staff actually. So additional actions then. We're going to pay a coin to move 3 dishes, and we're going to move a strudel, a cake. I'm quite pleased about how that's worked. So yeah, we've done that, and now we're going to move 1 guest. We can only move 1 guest to a free room. Actually, I think you can do that as many times as you want because it says only once per turn on the top one. So, yeah, I'm going to double check though. I'm pretty sure you can additional actions. So on your turn, you can also take the following items. Except for the first one, you can take additional any number of times. Okay, great. So we can actually do all 3 at once. Then, so here we go. This is pretty amazing. So we've fed that chap some strudel, 0 points, but we're going to get 1 prestige, and he can go again green. You'll see there's no green, so he can go anywhere. So we're going to do this yellow one, and remember these VPs are at the end, so that will just sort of create a little discard over there. So we've done this one. We've paid our strudel, and he's very happy with his coffee. And what did we say that little symbol was? I think it was we could take a card for free. Excellent. But I'll just check, take a face up. So now we've got the space to take a face up card, and I think we're going to go for that blue one. We're all about the prestige today. Do that one. So we've done that, and we're going to get 3 prestige as well, and 3 victory points. Blue is on the charge here, and this guy is going to go in this room. He's very happy to stay in our hotel now. And over to this chap who is going to give us a strudel, which I'm assuming you can just plonk straight away, and I never guessed. We paid our wine, we've got 1 victory point, and they're in the yellow room, which is here. How good is that? We have now completed a range, so you can see there's the 3 yellows together. So we look up here, 3 yellows, it's going to get 6 prestige. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've never had such a great start. And that was our additional actions. We still have to take a go, so I'm wondering whether we need more rooms now. But I was going to have a look at our guests. So we could get 1 time only 4 coffee. That's quite nice. A +1 and a +2 infinity. I'm assuming that's just an extra on the 1s and 2s. So he's basically good at making and prepping food. So it's chef. This one you get a 4. You get 4 victory points. 3 and a 4 to get 2. So there's some kind of chambermaids. You get 1 time 4 cake. Depends if I really want to go for cake. And this looks like extra points at the end of the game for certain combinations. I'm going to probably go for this coffee. Tough call, actually, because that cake is quite hard to get hold of. Well, it's quite hard to get both of these, actually. I'm going to go for coffee. So we are... Oh, I don't know. It just doesn't seem... I don't feel like I need all this coffee. Maybe I need money, actually, because money... I'm only on 6, and you've seen how much I started on 10. You know, I'm going to go for money. And there's 2 there, so we're going to get 2 money. I just feel like I want to be flexible. There we go. Okay, no additional actions. We are done. Over to 2. Over to yellow, should I say? Player 2. So they're a little bit dry on the old goods here. They could really do with some coffee and wine. So we might. And is it worth paying the extra coin? You see, at the moment we're going to get 2 wine. I've got a better idea though. I need a coffee as well. So we're going to pay. We're going to pay an extra coin to bump up the die, which we can only do once per turn. So we're pretending there's 3 there, and we're going to take a coffee and 2 wine. That's what we're going to do. So a coffee and 2 wine. Now remember, that symbol means we have to take more wine and coffee if it came down to it. And I'm going to place these 2 on there. So we've got 1 completed and 1 on there. So I've kind of done that because we've got 3 remaining. So on a future turn, if I do decide to go for this one again, I can then pay the kitchen to move them all over if I wish. So that was our turn. And did I pay? I'm assuming I paid the money for that. If not, I should have paid a coin if I didn't do that already. And are we going to do any... Well, we've done 1 additional action. We're not going to move the dishes. So I've got to remember these as well. 20 money. See, 15 victory points is so much. And considering I'm looking at my opponent thinking they've spent quite a bit, you know, maybe that's sort of the cards I'm going for. You get +2, +3, +2 money. And then again, there's 4. So these guys are already doing quite well on the yellows. And well, I've only done 1 red room at the moment. Right. So we've actually got a guest here I can move over. So we've got some strudel and wine. He's a happy chap. And we are going to get 2 victory points. And we have minus... Oh, God, I need to have a look at what that one is. So that is a -1. Prepare a room of your choice according to the placement rules. You must pay the cost -1. So I can place the room minus the 1 then. That's quite nice. So I think I'll go for a yellow in this case while I've got the reduction. And the plus... Oh, what does that mean? Prepare a room of your choice according to the placement rules. You must pay the cost though. So I can do another one as well, but I've got to pay the cost. So I might as well take this red one, because that's not going to cost me anything. And so now we actually put the guest in there, which is yellow. So we're going to go for this one. And that's that chap done. Can't do that one. Is there anything else we can do there? I don't think so. Over to blues. Now, I'm only going to finish this round. It would have been nice to get to the prestige, but it'll be such a long video. But I will explain how that works shortly again. But over to blue then. So let's give you an idea of something I've not done. So we've shown you how to use these 2. We've done the rooms. I've gone the money in prestige, and we've hired someone. So let's show you this option. Now, I assume these guys really wanted... They really wanted this one, because there's nothing there. It's not that they need that, but they could do with the strudel, I guess. So in this case, this mirrors it. So they pay a coin, and there's 1 dice there, so that means they mimic that one with just the 1 dice. If they mimic this one, you wouldn't get the 3, you'd just get the 1 still, but you wouldn't do that for some reason anyway. So 1 to 5. So if we take this dice and we're going to mimic this one, we can only take the strudel in this case, and we're going to put it straight on there. And that's how that option 6 works. Are we going to... We haven't really got many options for doing anything additional. Yeah, but they're done. Over to yellows then. And just to show you of yellows again, we're going to pass. These guys have gone. So these guys remove 1 of these and they're going to re-roll, just to sort of demonstrate how that works. 1, 2, 1, 4, 5. So you can see now, you know, there's a bit more strudel and cake out. These guys probably really wanted wine and coffee. What are they going to go for then? Well, they could take, before they take the go, actually, they can take one of these guys, and they're probably wanting a yellow one because it's not going to cost them, and they want to try and fill this area here. So they've got the guest, the actual action they're going to do. Let's just take a prestige point, because they are lagging at the moment. And did they want to pay a coin maybe to get another one? You know what, we're going to pay a coin, pretend those two guys to move up, because when it gets to third on, they're going to move 3 back, and they want to sort of be up here so they're not getting into that black zone, because they're going to lose 3 money or 5 victory points, which is not very nice. Okay, so that is the end of the round, and let's just assume that we were on round 3, we'd just finished that, and you would first score the points here. So blue in this case would get 6 points, yellow would get 2, but then you're minusing the 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the 0. So these guys are going to be losing either 3 crony or 5 victory points, and these guys are going to be gaining 3 money. So you can see just getting up there straight away helps massively throughout the game, and all you have to do now is focus on, add a couple on, add a few on. Whereas if you're down here constantly, and you're going to be going 7 back and 5 back at one point, so you really need to impress the Emperor is what I'm trying to get at. And at the end of the game, the game is triggered at the end of 7. You do the typical Emperor, and then you do the final scoring, which is basically you add on the points for whatever completed ones you got on these rows. Your money is 1 VP per money, I believe. I'm just going to go check the rules on that. And I think any resource you have left is equally money. You will also lose, so bear in mind, 5 points per guest that you haven't actually moved from your cafe. They are unsatisfied that you've not given them a room for the night. So what we've got left over, lose 2. That's pretty much it. And whoever has the most points is the winner. So there we are, folks. You are taking charge of hotels. Hopefully that has been of use to you. This one it's quite actually streamlined once you get the hang of it, and it's similar to a game like Panamax where you're making the most of the dice coming out, and there's enough options to mitigate if it's number 6, and how you can add on through the additional actions, which is important. But it's just keeping an eye on this level changes. You want to get the right guest in this competition to get certain ones and not pay through the nose, because money really does slip through your fingers after a while, and you've got to get that combination of getting the resources at the right time to then get the rooms ready, bring them in there, work out these areas to maximize your points, watch out how much you pay, and then it's just that constant flow of getting guests through your hotel, which feels really thematic and really nice aspect. And looking at the staff, there's so many staff, which just brings a lot of variety into the game. They let you do a host of things, and there's so many guests in here as well, so a lot of the green ones, and just so many different actions. And one thing I'd say is a bit of a negative is, even though I've played the game a few times, is you still have to reference the rules for what everything is, but it does it well. This the back of the rules does that, and I'd highly recommend printing this sort of staff card visual reference as well. Hopefully that's been of use to you guys, and that is Grand Austria Hotel.